Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Look, I like to watch movies with my friends sometimes, and that can be objectively perfect films like Pacific Rim or Age of Ultron. I'm joking, MCU haters, don't kill me. But other times we'll watch the schlockiest pile of horse feathers I can find, and one night that happened to be a little film called The Gingerdead Man, starring Gary Busey. If you don't know who Gary Busey is, or why it indicates something about the film, all I can say is, what's it like to have working knees? The long and short of Gingerdead Man is a murderer gets cremated after his execution, his ashes somehow end up at a bakery, mixed into the dough, someone bleeds on the dough, it's baked into a gingerbread man that comes to life, possessed by the murderer, you know, as you do. What followed was a night of murderous gingerbread shenanigans that ended with the Gingerdead Man being defeated by Vor. I'm not joking. Well, temporarily defeated by Vor, because the act of doing so leaves the guy who did it possessed by the Gingerdead Man, and they defeat him semi-permanently by shoving that guy inside an industrial oven because it's taking place at a bakery. I guess you don't have to explain anything to the police if the body is reduced to ashes. Why did I say semi-permanently? Because who wouldn't want to continue the story of this masterpiece with films like Gingerdead Man 2, The Passion of the Crust, Gingerdead Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver, Gingerdead Man vs. Evil Bong. And after experiencing the first film, naturally our eyes were drawn to things other viewers had watched, and saw not just the direct sequels, but a 2021 entry into the franchise called The Gingerweed Man. There's really nothing I can say to prepare you for what's about to happen other than it is a comedy film for stoners, and the closest thing I can compare it to is Thanksgiving.
Nice tits, bitch.
Let's get into it, shall we? If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay up to date on all future uploads. We begin our story with some nerd in a lab creating the dankest nug known to man, bringing to life a little semi-sapient critter that gives people the strongest hits. 420 blaze it and such like. His lab is intruded upon by a smoking hot woman with red marks over her eyes, feather earrings, and what appears to be a hairpipe choker, and her name is Smokahontas. I trust you can see what level this movie is operating on. She's here to take back what he stole, the dank nug, and makes it clear that she means business by throwing an axe in his general direction. Our lab nerd, Professor Claude Pythagoras, flips her off and runs for it, taking an arrow in the process.
Here comes the hurricane, bitch. Here comes the hurricane, bitch.
We cut to an apartment full of weed paraphernalia, alcohol, and pan over a naked woman asleep in bed, really lingering on her chesticles so you know they're there. Then the alarm goes off. He's the Gingerweed Man, but this girl calls him Gingy, and I'm just gonna call him Ginger. His long-suffering roommate and business partner Barbara walks in and shoves Ginger's hookup out the door while her tits are still out. She then tells Ginger to get ready because they have a very busy day of running their dispensary delivery service ahead of them. Barbara cleans the place up while the puppetry guys have fun with Ginger in the bathroom, which made me wonder what exactly this model was made of because it seems relatively stiff compared to a different version we'll see later that's much floppier. In the middle of cleaning up, Barbara discovers a vibrator that's still going, which I want to know what kind of battery life this thing has to still be active after last night's events. Also, 1 brownie point to Ginger for using toys to begin with. Don't let your ego get in the way of making her partner feel good. This would be a great segue for a Bellessa sponsor. Eventually, Ginger is ready for the day, and after crashing and burning, confessing his true, pure love for Barbara, she sends him on his delivery route. He hops onto a tiny scooter called the Weedmobile, delivering to a variety of customers, the filming of which must have been a wild time, because can you imagine just going about your day and seeing a bunch of guys with cameras following this stupid little green muppet around? His final delivery brings him to a hotel, and this is the scene that broke me and my friends when we first watched this. A man in his best Hugh Hefner cosplay checks his teeth in the mirror, the room behind him decorated with fluffy throws, LED strip lights, and flowers, with jazz music playing in the background. He's clearly expecting a good time, if you catch my meaning. He excitedly opens the door for Ginger, who bounces into the room to deliver the dank kush. The man calls out to his wife, announcing Ginger's arrival, and what proceeds to happen is this guy watching with opera glasses as his wife has sex with Ginger, a tiny gingerweed man that barely comes up to the knees, and with the force of her orgasm, launching him across the room like a fucking ping pong ball, so hard that he sticks to the opposite wall. I need you to know that we came within a gnat's pube of seeing full frontal vag in this scene. Also, this specific part of the scene lasts less than a minute, but your brain is trying to process everything that's happening to the point where it absolutely feels longer, to the extent where I completely skipped over the bit where Ginger plays her ass cheeks like a pair of bongos. Again, all I can think about is what this was like to film. Like, how many times did they crack up because it was so ridiculous? Ginger heads to his supplier, and while waiting for a new product to deliver, Claude staggers inside, dying from the arrow in his gut. He entrusts the dankest nug to Ginger, who is too stupid to listen to any of what he says before he kicks it. And because Ginger assumes that this guy is working for his supplier, he believes he's been given his next delivery, and merrily fucks off to go eat lunch. The supplier returns to see Claude dead on the floor just as Smokahontas walks in, shoots him with an arrow, and demands to know where the nug is. Supplier man flips her off, she kills him, and then notices a business card for Ginger's delivery service. Ginger is minding his own business, having lunch when the nug finally awakens, now dubbed Little Buddy as he speaks in gibberish beyond the word buddy and bounces everywhere with too much energy. Back at the apartment, Buddy drives Barbara nuts with all his bouncing around, and in search of Hot Pockets, Ginger leaves for the store. At which point, Smokahontas busts in, beating Barbara's ass and kidnapping both her and Buddy. Oh no! Ginger returns from the store, oblivious as to what happened, and decides to get stoned out of his tiny green mind until he hallucinates/astral projects to a state where he can communicate with Kaya, Queen of Weed Heaven.
I am Kaya, Queen of Weed Heaven.
Sure. She tells him to go save Buddy and Barbara because Buddy is some kind of cosmically infused strain of weed that can bring balance to the world if nurtured, but if he's raised by evil, he'll cause the apocalypse or something. Anyway, we cut to Timu Dr. Doom talking to some shady people on a screen about some event tonight. What event? Human and drug trafficking, of course. Meanwhile, Ginger works on a plan to find and rescue his friends. To that end, he acquires something every good hero needs.
And racially offensive sidekick.
Just because you acknowledge it doesn't make it not offensive. And at this point, I'm going to kind of just speed through this since the charm has very much worn off. He explains the situation to his sidekick, but they get immediately sidetracked by quote-unquote lesbian porn while searching the internet for clues, which is really just an excuse to make multiple masturbation jokes until they finally figure out where they need to go.
Please, put this shit on Khanlusa. Or else what? I might just spit on you myself. Gay!
The Yakuza, the Mexican cartel, and the Russian mafia all show up to bid on the girls and drugs. Ginger infiltrates with his sidekick, gets found out, and sidekick takes an eye out of each criminal rep's head with his spear. Barbara runs off to free Buddy from Timu Doom, Smokahontas kicks Ginger clear across the room, and while he can't win a physical fight, he unleashes a hurricane bong hit of a fart which either kills her or sends her to the rings of fucking Saturn. And the day is saved! Our gang returns home, Ginger accepts responsibility for raising Buddy, and his first new word is boobies, because of course it is.
Oh, fuck me.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a cheeky wee comment, whether it's about the film we just discussed, a film you'd like to see me cover, or to tell me about your pets. If you enjoy my delivery and you're into video games, my main channel has you covered. Don't forget to drink water, take your medication, be kind to yourselves, and I will see you all next time.